Now, I think we can pretty much all agree that Minecraft Villages could use an update. A couple episodes ago, I started a project where I wanted to make a village for every biome in Minecraft that doesn't already have a village. And in that episode, we tackled the Birch and the Dark Oak villages, and I think they turned out pretty well. And here today, I will be tackling the Cave Village. Now, full disclosure, I wanted to do the Ocean Village as well in the same episode, but I kind of spent more time than I expected on the Cave Village, so we're just gonna have this one for today. I hope you guys enjoy this video. Let's get started. Don't mind the arrows in my face, alright? I promise that I'm okay. We're living still. We got good old Squidward in my offhand to keep me alive. And, you know, a little while ago, I stumbled across this massive cave underneath my base. That was rude. Alright, hold on. Do you want to not? Okay, I keep hitting the wrong button, and I gave him my sword and my pickaxe. I haven't played Minecraft in a couple of days, okay? I'm a little rusty. Anyway, I found this cave a little while ago, and I think this would be perfect for the village I have in mind. The thing is, though, now we just have to light everything up. It's probably going to take a lot of torches, but let me take the little bit that I have and spam them all across this area, and hopefully we can get it to be mob-proof pretty soon. Next up, then, let's go grab all the materials we are going to need. Now, I'm unsure exactly what these buildings are going to look like. I will probably figure that out as I am building them. But I do have a relative color scheme in my head. So I think I want the walls, at least of the first floor of these buildings, to be out of granite and bricks and polished granite. We'll get a nice combination of these blocks going. And then the upper floors, we're gonna have a bunch of different, like, colorful blocks. So I have a bunch of terracotta here in these two shulker boxes. I'm gonna make about half of this into lime terracotta and then the rest into purple terracotta, which we actually still have a little bit left over, which is nice. We'll be using both of those colors, and then we will also be breaking in some white blocks, like some polished diorite and some calcite. That'll look good, I think. And then the last color I thought of that'll look nice, at least I think right now, maybe once I put it down, I'll completely change my mind, is yellow. And we're gonna kind of get the yellow effect with some concrete, with some wool, and then with some concrete powder. I really want to give this cave a lot more life, so that's why I want to bring in a bunch of colors, and I also will probably end up bringing in a whole bunch of moss and making parts of the cave like lush caves. I think that'll look really cool. Anyway, though, we now have to go on a quest to get a bunch of dyes. So we're gonna need a bunch of lime green dye, which I feel like the easiest way to get that is to go get a whole bunch of cactuses, or cacti. All right, listen, I know the plural. Don't comment, please. We have to go get a whole bunch of cacti. And then I have a bunch of bones lying around. I think you combine those, you get the white dye, the green dye, bada boom, bada bing, color theory, you get lime dye. We will also have to go punch in a whole bunch of flowers, because I'm going to need some yellow dye and some blue dye. We have a little bit of blue dye in this chest here, but I'm definitely going to need more. I will combine that with the red dye, which I have somewhere. Yeah, combine these two together, get purple dye, make purple terracotta. You know how it goes. So let's go punch a whole bunch of vegetation after I take a nap. I forgot you have to smelt the cactus too. You don't just get it from the cactus. Now I have to use fuel. Too many things, man. Too many things going into this one village that won't really ever be useful, but it should look good. This is actually super convenient that I just found this, because I need a lot of gravel too. So we got a full shulker box here of sand and gravel, approximately split down the middle. Hopefully that's good enough for a little while. Now let's just go punch some more cactus. Alright, I got myself 2 stacks of cactus. I hope this is enough. I really don't think I'm gonna need that much lime dye. But let's head back home, and on the way, let's go punch a whole bunch of flowers. You guys are not ready for this. Watch this. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. First try. And alright, we are returning home now with all of the flowers and the sand and stuff that we're gonna need. Let me clear out my inventory a little bit though and get stuff more organized. I think we have everything ready to begin building. I just crafted up all of the colorful blocks that we're going to use. Let me kind of just go through all the different shulker boxes here. So this one has all of the white blocks in it. So we have white concrete powder, we have some white wool, some calcite, some birch. I might throw some diorite in here as well, but I don't know if I want that many white blocks together. We'll kind of see. This shulker box just has a whole bunch of yellow concrete powder in it and some yellow wool. And then I think some of this concrete powder we're going to make into just yellow concrete. So then it'll be yellow concrete powder, yellow concrete, and then yellow wool. We only have a little bit of yellow wool, but that's honestly probably enough. I don't really imagine like the second floor of these buildings being that big. So yeah, this is certainly overkill. We have way too many materials for this, but I kind of wanted just to get a whole bunch just in case I ever need these blocks again. This is kind of just leftovers. Like these aren't going to be necessarily used for anything unless I really need them. And then this shulker box here has a bunch of purple terracotta, also a bunch of lime terracotta. And I am forgetting some very important blocks that I just now realized. Oh, I have some. Let's go. I really hope this is enough, but I forgot I needed the crimson stuff to go with the purple terracotta. But let's gather up all these shulker boxes here, and let's head down to the cave. These guys all just hit a suicide shot on me, man. What the hell? It's like I'm watching a FaZe Ilcams episode from back in the day. That was crazy. We do have a layout here of where the buildings are going to go. It's very much just a rough sketch at the moment. And I might even add in a couple more buildings if I make these kind of small, because I think I certainly have enough materials to do so. But this is kind of the idea, right? So this bigger one in the back is going to be like the main smeltery area. So that'll be the main attraction of the village, and then we're just gonna have a couple houses on either side surrounding this thing. We'll probably have like a nice walkway going around here too. And I do kind of want to make it more secure so mobs can't just walk up there. So maybe I make it a couple blocks high, add some fence gates, all that fun stuff. Maybe just some regular walls too. We'll make it look good. Hopefully, at least, you know, good from my standards. But I do want to begin here by carving away at some of these pillars, at least this main one in the middle. I might put it back, but just for now, I don't really like it here. I think I want to start off with the pathway that's going to go around this whole thing, just so I know exactly how far these buildings can come out of the walls. I got some spruce blocks, so let's kind of start with these. And I'm going to kind of run these slabs just in like a semicircle until we get to around here, maybe? Then we can kind of get a better sense of scale. And we'll also know how much room we have in the middle here to make it look all nice. That's probably where like the lush part's gonna come in. That's probably where most of the moss is going to be, kind of in this middle section here. I also do really like this like stalagmite looking thing, but I do think this has to go for now too. I will probably put this one back, maybe just more in the middle. It's just sort of in the way of the path here. So it's looking a little weird right now because it's just these spruce slabs kind of like floating. But we do have a pathway now, kind of connecting everything. Over here is still a little bit awkward, but I will definitely fix this. I'll probably just bump this building out so it meets the pathway. Same thing here. I'll probably have to drop it down a little bit and then bump it out. But obviously, this is not just going to be floating spruce. So, let me grab some deep slate blocks. Got some deep slate bricks and some cobbled deep slate. I'm gonna follow the path one block over with cobbled deep slate on the bottom. And then on top of all of this cobbled deep slate, we're gonna throw some deep slate bricks. Yeah, all right, so then it's gonna look like this, which is kind of cool looking in my opinion. And then we're gonna do some kind of like railing design up here. So let me kind of figure out what I want to do. I'm not even really sure what I did. I kind of just threw in a bunch of walls and some fence gates and some fences. I don't really know. I think it looks all right for now. I also think I want to continue this deep slate trim around this side of the pathway too. I think it'll look really nice if I do this all the way around. I do not know what kind of railing I want to have on the left side, if there is a railing there at all. It might just only be on the right. So for now, I'm going to leave this kind of blank, just like this. But I think it looks pretty cool right now. I think it'll look a lot better once we get the buildings in, and also once I throw some lanterns down. But for now, looking pretty sick. I do want to work on one of the buildings now, and I think it's going to be the building that is over here. So let's clear out this tuff, and let's throw down some blocks. I'm also going to structure this video a little bit differently. Now, normally I would just time-lapse pretty much everything. That's kind of what I've been doing. But with this village here, I think I'm going to build this one kind of along with you guys. I'm not going to make it super long and drawn out like I would in like a tutorial or anything like that. But I kind of just wanted to know if you guys would like me to do this more in the future, where some of the builds are way more hands-on, some of them are time lapses, or if you would rather that I just time lapse everything like I have been doing. Now I think this is probably a good size for these buildings here. Not too big, not too small. We're going to have a second floor for sure. And that is where like the lime terracotta and the green wool is going to come in, at least for this building in particular. And I forgot my scaffolding, so we're just going to have to use blocks to pillar up. but it should be okay. But for the first floor, we're gonna do the same design that I literally always do all the time, with the spruce stairs and trapdoor. Looks really nice as an archway. And now let's start trying to figure out what I'm gonna do for the second floor. This is where it's gonna get interesting. I'm gonna bring the second floor out a block. I think that'll look pretty cool. Let's get our spruce logs again and build these up. Probably 4 more. Strip these bad boys all down, of course. And then back here is where all the lime terracotta is gonna come into play. And then green wool, of course. Can't forget about that. And that's looking pretty good, I think. I think once we get all these colors everywhere, it's gonna look a lot better. All right, did you not see this? Look it, okay? This is what's gonna happen to you. Do you want to have a change of heart here, pal? Clearly does not want to have a change of heart, all right? Let's just keep adding to the pile, all right? Maybe eventually they'll get intimidated. So I definitely don't just like the slab roof. How do I want to change this? I have one idea. I have no idea if this is going to look good or not, but let's try it. All right, so what about that? It's better, but as I was putting that together, I kind of had an idea. So my original thought for this village was I was going to have a whole bunch of just completely disconnected buildings, but I think it would be a lot better if instead we kind of just make this one really big connected building, and we only really differentiate between the houses with the colors at the top. I think that would actually be really sweet. So let me kind of just lay out the first floor of what I'm thinking of. All right, so that's not looking too bad right now. Kind of just have to figure out the second floors from here, but it's looking pretty cool, I think. I think what we do is make the second floor of this section still green, and then we work on maybe yellow over here. I definitely think that'll look good, so let's see if we can figure out how the hell I am going to do the second floor up here. Okay, that's looking more interesting now. So let's transition the second floor in this area into yellow blocks. Dude, all these axolotls ever do is just get stuck. My man was struggling down there for a while. Did the rest of them die? No, look, you're stuck too, I think. How are you guys all stuck? It's just a sea pickle. Like, figure it out. All right, so I didn't throw the roof up there yet, but I'm kind of liking this vibe. Looks a little weird over here, but we'll fix that. That's not a big deal. Again, that's a future Shram problem, you know? Me, I live in the moment. Current Shram? Yeah, he's an idiot. Now, I don't know what the exact shape of the main, like, smelting building is going to be. So just for now, I'm going to fill this entire gap in with spruce slabs, just so I can put down spruce logs anywhere in this whole area. I'm also not going to work on this main building yet. I'm going to save that for last, but let me at least map out how long it's going to be, because I want this to be an odd number of blocks. There is a 13 block gap now between this pillar and the start of the pillar down there. They're also a little bit diagonal from each other, but that's what I wanted. I will figure out the rest of this building though once we finish over here. Let's work on the left side of the houses. I'm not sure if this is going to look good or not, but I'll do my best. All right, so I laid down a whole bunch of pillars here to kind of signify where the different like archways of the buildings are going to go. So let's start building these all up then. All right, so we got the layout all together, and now we just have to put in the walls and make it look all nice. So just like this side over here, gonna start on the bottom with some granite, work in some brick as well, of course, and then also work in some polished granite. Let's just continue working on this all the way across, and then we'll get into the second floors where the colors are gonna get more interesting. Let's start with the purple blocks. So that's going to be the purple terracotta, the crimson planks, and the stripped crimson stem. And I'm not gonna lie, this is a little confusing to do, considering this side is way more like diagonal than this side. But we're making it work, okay? It might look a little awkward, but I think it's gonna look good in the end. And then we are going to transition into the white blocks. And I think, instead of using diorite, I think we're gonna use just the other blocks that I have. Because there's a lot of diorite in this cave, and I feel like it'll blend in a little bit too much. So I'm going to use just the other white blocks, just so it's a little bit different. I also don't think I'm going to use any of the white wool. I just feel like that's too many blocks in a very small area. And now that we have all of the walls in, let's do the trapdoor and stair design that we have everywhere else. And now I would kind of like to figure out the roof. I think for both sides, I want to figure out the complete roof. We already kind of started right over here with the roof, but I didn't do that much of it. I just want to point something out before I start talking about the roof on this half. I changed this slope right here. It used to be slabs, but I made it all stairs. Kind of just think it looks better that way. But I'm kind of replicating the same thing over here. We're just going to make this stairway go up until we hit this pillar here. But if I just put stairs straight up to the top, it comes up to this block, I think. Which won't really work, because I want the roof for the next section to come like that. And that's going to look really weird. with stairs right there. So instead what we're gonna do is we're just gonna slab our way up. And it's gonna look something like that. A little bit funky because this building is not completely straight here. But honestly, I'm all about the weirdness right now. I don't actually think this section in the middle really needs a roof. I feel like it's kind of fine the way it is. I do want to exchange out these blocks at the top though, because I don't really want diorite here. I feel like it'll blend too much in with the walls. I think what we should do instead is just kind of bring this down. Yeah, it looks pretty good in my opinion. I don't think we need a roof for right there. We might be honestly okay over here too. Let's see if I can kind of just bring down some stones. I'm fine not to have a roof there with the like white buildings. I believe all of the roofs are on. At least I hope so. If I missed anything, I guess maybe someone will point it out in the comments and I'll come back to it. I forgot that there's just a big hole though in the side of the building here. So I should probably go ahead and fill that in. And also, before I forget, I need to fill in the tops of all of the roofs, because I'm definitely going to forget to do that if I don't do it soon. Alright, I finished up this side of the building, and I also put a little bit more stone next to it, just to fill in the gaps a little bit better. But now, absolutely, before I forget, let's fill in the tops of all of the roofs. Alright, so I filled in the tops of the roofs with the respective colors. And also, this side over here is still completely empty. That's just because I don't know how much of the smeltery is going to block over here just yet. Whenever I figure that out, I will fill in the rest accordingly. But speaking of the smeltery building, let's go ahead and start building that. I think for the smeltery building back here, we're gonna keep it pretty simple. I'm gonna keep this building mostly just a regular looking rectangle, but then over here, it's gonna get a little bit more interesting just because I want it to connect up with the buildings over here. So if I kept this completely straight and made it a full rectangle, then we'd have a little bit of stone between these two, and I don't want that. So instead, we're gonna have a bit of a diagonal over here, but I think it'll be fine. And before I do anything else, I actually do want to work on the roof, because I kind of want to figure out what that's going to look like. I think just stairs going up like this will look pretty cool. We can definitely continue the trend of the second floor here jutting out a little bit. But this second floor section is going to be a little bit wider than the rest. So normally this would have been 3 blocks in between, but now we have 5. And I kind of feel like just over here, I'm just gonna drip down some more stone, because I really don't know how to work in the roof on that side, and I think that looks fine like this. Let's start working in the walls then. We're gonna start the first floor the same as we have been. And then I think for the middle one here, I'm just gonna keep it with the white theme, because I feel like we haven't really used much of that color in these builds. One final thing I have to touch up with the buildings before I start adding in a whole bunch of details is this side of the yellow building. It's completely empty still. But I also suppose we should probably figure out how we're gonna get into each of these buildings. So I'll just kind of start plopping in doorways wherever I can. I gotta be honest, I'm really not sure what's going to go in any of these buildings, except for this one, where I'm actually going to put a super smelter. Might not do that today. We'll probably do that in the next episode. Quick little spoiler for next episode, I guess. I think I'm going to spend a lot of time working on interiors next time. I want to finish up a lot of the projects in this world that I've kind of left unfinished. So I feel like that's a good time to actually do the super smelter. Anyway, though, I really don't know what's going to go in these buildings in general. Might just decorate them at some point with a bunch of really random stuff just to make them look okay. But let's go ahead and throw on some doors. I've also just seen a few places where I've missed some stairs and some trapdoors. There are surely more. But if I see them, I'll try to fix them. And if I don't see them, and I don't say anything about it, you can point them out in the comments. Now, I have a whole bunch more exterior decoration to do, but I kind of don't want to bore you guys with this stuff. So instead, I'm just going to cut away until I am finished doing the exterior decoration with these homes. It's not going to be anything that I really haven't done before. We're just going to throw on a couple windows and probably some leaves falling off the roofs and stuff like that, just to give it a bit of life down here. So I'm going to go start working on that, and I'll be right back. So as you can see, we added a whole bunch more detail to the exterior of these buildings. Got a whole bunch of leaves going through, we got a whole bunch of windows, and inside the windows, I kind of just put some shroom lights. I don't know if I'm going to tackle the interiors today or not, but I just wanted some kind of extra lighting in here, so that when I turn off the gamma mod I have, it still looks pretty good. And those shroom lights work very well in that regard. But it's definitely coming along. There's still a few more things we have to get done with this village before I can conclude this episode. And the next thing I want to start working on is this central bit. I want to make this more into like a lush cave kind of like pond thing. I think I can do a pretty cool job. We could probably have a whole bunch of moss, a bunch of mossy blocks, probably some more leaves, some different kinds of greenery. I think it's going to look pretty cool down here. But my inventory is an absolute mess. So let me go ahead and clear out some shulker boxes, and we can gather some more materials. Got a couple stone variants, got some green blocks, and also some bone meal, because I feel like I want to bone meal some of these flowering azaleas, just to get some azalea trees down there. I feel like that'll look kind of nice. I guess to begin, let's get a good shape down for this pond. I'm gonna use some cobblestone just to map out where I want it to go. I like this bit back here. I think that's actually a pretty good shape. This is just a little bit too awkward up here. All right, I definitely like this shape a lot more. Don't know what that just was, but that was a weird little glide. All right, anyway, let me get rid of all of this diorite because I don't really want this being on the floor. All right, so we got this all filled with stone now. I'm gonna cut away a little bit more of this. Actually, I forgot 3 blocks. Hold on. My bad. Let me cut away a little bit more of this. And I think that's looking good for the shape. So let's go ahead and actually start throwing down the water. And there we go. We got a pond. So let's go ahead and start throwing around some of these green blocks. So I'm going to go around and bone meal a whole bunch of moss around here, throw in some like mossy cobble, some tuff probably somewhere, and just decorate this to the best of my ability. And I think I'm going to do this through a time lapse. So I will be back once this central pond area is completed. At the start of the episode, this cave looked like this. What? And now it looks much better, in my opinion. We have a nice cave village down here, whole bunch of details in the pathways and stuff like that, a bunch of ores kind of just chilling around. Trying to imagine like they were just mined a little bit ago and they're just being stored here or something. We have a nice pond, a bit of a lush area to the cave, a couple trees. I think it is looking pretty cool. This is definitely one of my favorite builds that I've done in this world so far. And I feel like if I had a little bit more time, maybe I could have like extrapolated this to the entire cave down here. But it's been a very long time since I posted a hardcore episode, so I really just wanted to get one out. And I am very comfortable with where this build is at. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode. I really hope you guys enjoyed this one, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.